Parents against grandkids. Wanting to be parents but scared of what everyone will think. I, 23 female, and my boyfriend, 27 male, both have very established full-time careers. We both went to school at a young age and became educated. We have been together for over 2 years now, live together, etc. It's a very healthy and happy relationship for the most part. We have our ups and downs but nothing out of the normal, and we always come to a resolution. I'm wanting to come off birth control and become a parent, and my boyfriend has the same mutual feeling. As he already has a kid and absolutely loves it. My thing is my parents think having a child is a horrible idea. They think it will ruin my life and take away my freedom. Nothing will be about you anymore, don't do it, you'll regret it later in life. I'd have a better understanding of this if I was huge into partying and had an ambient social life, but I don't. I'm not a drinker or partier. I work shift work and spend my free time going to the gym and cleaning my home. All of this applies to my boyfriend as well. Two major homebodies here. Mind you, this is pretty much all coming from a stepmom who has had no children of her own. She came into my life when I was 15. Financially, I'm very good with my money and very good at budgeting. I guess I'm just wondering what the big deal is. Or if anyone has any advice. It kind of feels like it's a double-edged sword. Are they just projecting their stressors and anxiety onto me? Now for top comment. Are you talking about marriage first? If that seems too big a step, you may want to slow down. Go to the Regretful Parents sub for some perspective. Do your parents dislike your fiancé? Why do you want a child? Is it because he has one already and you feel like you want to catch up? Are you in an emotional and financial place to take care of a child? Do you two agree on the division of labor? Do you two agree on parenting styles? Have you spent much time with his kid? Are you prepared for the possibility of being a single mom if things don't work with your BF? Are you prepared for the possibility of having a high-needs kid? Do you have a plan in place for support if you have PPD? Is this something that you have thought through or a decision on a whim? It will ruin my life and take away my freedom. On the contrary, having kids will be the best thing you ever do. When you are old and gray, no one will care about your career. Your kids, and grandkids, will, however, cherish all the memories. I'm strictly quoting what she has said to me personally. Are these her true thoughts on having children? If so, then why join a family? Wouldn't you want to grow your family? You should stop worrying about what others think. Perhaps your stepmom is just jealous. Either way, do what's best for you. Since it sounds like you want kids, I'm here to give you encouragement. There's a lot of propaganda in society encouraging people to have less kids. Be a rebel and do the opposite. Next story 2. I, 26 female, don't want to date my, 25 male, boyfriend anymore. I'm the first serious girlfriend he's had since high school. My family loves him, his family loves me. We don't argue, and we have similar outlooks on life. The only thing is, I'm realizing a month before our year anniversary, that I love him, but I'm not in love with him. It's taken a lot of talks with my brother and self-reflecting to realize that. And I feel horrible. He's done nothing wrong. He's a wonderful guy. I just don't feel anything. I'm not talking about sparks or fireworks. I know those come and go throughout long-term relationships. That it takes effort to keep that going. I'm talking in the sense of I don't want to plan to move in together, I don't want to celebrate our year anniversary. I don't see us ever getting married. Etc. To put it simply, I don't want to be in a romantic relationship with him anymore. I would much rather be alone and possibly sad than to be in a relationship and feel nothing. Especially since that would mean leading him on. And he doesn't deserve that. Nobody does. But especially not him. The obvious answer is to break up. And I want to. I just haven't been in this situation before. My past relationships ended ugly, or had bigger, more obvious reasons that were clear to both of us. But this is just, not that. He has no idea I feel this way. I barely realized it a week ago. I'm beating myself up about it, and I didn't expect to feel this way. Otherwise I wouldn't have dated him for this long or let him into my life the way that I have. Has anybody else been through this? How did you go about it? Now for top comment. I literally just went through this a few hours ago, but like it started 2 weeks ago for me for different reasons. Essentially I took some time to think for myself and talk with others, and I decided to end the relationship with my now ex-boyfriend. All I can say is if you do want to end the relationship and not drag him along, then let him down as gently as possible, give valid points and not excuses as to why you are breaking up with him, be as kind and caring and try to understand as much as possible. I am hurting so much right now, and it will happen once you break up and you'll feel so many emotions, but you have to do what is right for you and your health and not string him along by giving him a facade that you are in love with him and want that same future that he wants. I'm sorry you're grieving right now. But it's reassuring to know that it's normal to still feel all the emotions even when you know it's what's best for you. Be gentle with yourself through this. Thank you so much for taking the time to type all this for me. In this case, I feel that being honest with him is the only way you can truly get through to him, in a way that he might be able to see your perspective. Personally, in hindsight, I, 22M, would hate to know my partner felt this way about me, and I would have wished they brought it up at the inception of the feeling. I think it's also important to not directly take the offensive position on requesting a breakup, but just explain to him your feelings and let that conversation come along. Don't push the relationship away, but talk about it and bring the feelings to the forefront for open dialogue. Be honest, what is wrong with him? Is he not attractive to you anymore? Is there something off about his energy? Do you have vastly different worldviews and expectations? What was right about him for the last year? When did you start thinking about not being with him, and what triggered those thoughts? I've been going apartment hunting with my brother for a while, and my brother suggested/offered that my boyfriend could rent a place with us. That's when I started noticing I felt off. And that's when the self-reflecting started. Is it possible that the issue is a fear of commitment and a feeling of pressure to make a decision between a serious commitment or ending it completely? Besides, y'all have been dating less than a year. It's totally normal to not be ready to live with someone you have only been dating for less than a year. I haven't dated anyone that I wanted to move in with after less than 2 years. It's totally okay to have a relationship that is past we've met each other's parents but nowhere near we live together at that point. Just because you don't feel like that now doesn't mean you won't feel that way later. You might just be at toothbrush and a drawer level of commitment. And that's totally fine. Before you decide whether to terminate the relationship, ask yourself what level of commitment you want right now and what level is actually necessary. You might be afraid of getting too serious, but getting more serious than you are now might not even be necessary yet. I've considered that fear, or it possibly even being a trauma response due to past abusive relationship after moving in together. I guess my biggest fear is if I wait longer to try to work on this while with him, and it still ends with me still not wanting a future together, that I would have wasted his time. That and the guilt of knowing deep down I'm working on something that could make or break this relationship and him having no idea. Like I'd be lying or pretending. And that feels wrong. Edit, I'm gonna add more. If I communicate my thoughts with the intention of trying to work through it? What if he blames himself? Or thinks he isn't good enough? Because, and I want to make this very clear, he has done nothing wrong. The last thing I want is for him to think he has to save a relationship that he has not even negatively impacted. Or to feel like he's walking on eggshells because of something that I feel. I would recommend just telling him this, all of this. Odds are, he's not ready to commit either, and may be more than willing to potentially waste his time gambling on a relationship with you. You need to be willing to share fears and feelings and expectations with your romantic partners if you ever want to maintain long-term relationships with anyone.